You're watching New Car Spin. I'm your host, Brian, and this is the 2020 Toyota Highlander Platinum. A lot of people would call it an SUV. It's a 3-row with a V6, 8-speed auto. I would call this thing a minivan. We all know that these aren't really off-roaders, and they are more and more like little luxury tugs. And you can see plenty of room in here. But my question is, who is this car for? Toyota says 1 in 7 Highlanders sold will be the Platinum trim, which is amazing because these cost over $50,000. That's a lot of money for a Toyota, let alone a lot of money for getting a vehicle to take your kids to school in. We have sunshades that roll up. We have captain's chairs that have different ways to fold and all that other stuff. Although I'm not going to waste my time with that because I only have one hand in use right now. Sitting in here, you'll see not much headroom actually in this middle seat. What else do we have here? A little iPad holder of some sort. Let's see if I can even get it out of here. There we go. So you adjust it, and the whole thing just clips in to your headrest bracket there. That's a nice little option. You can see on the graphic how that works. Very nice to have. That way you don't have to have the rear seat entertainment systems built in anymore. You just do individual pads, which is actually more expensive than getting a rear seat entertainment system like I had in my Durango, because now you got to have several $100s times 2. Anyway, we have a sunroof shade that's powered, although there's no control for it back here. We do have rear heated seats and rear climate controls, which is great. And then, of course, there is a third row, which, there you go, can fold up easily, even from the middle seat, which is nice. Captain's chairs obviously mean we get these little armrests. So, it's, what is it? It's as expensive as my 2019 Dodge Durango RT. Do I want a Toyota Highlander or an RT Durango for $50-something thousand? Well, let's look at the window sticker and figure this out. Nice roof rack, by the way. Okay, first thing I noticed is the cheap sounding metal door, but that's okay because the Lexus I reviewed last week, the RX 400 whatever, the RX in general, is way past its prime. So I disliked that a lot, and I called it the Nancy Pelosi of cars. And then here Toyota gives me this, and this is miles ahead of the Lexus RX. And that's because the Highlander is built new from the ground up. And you can see that in here. It is amazing in here. We have great pockets here and there, sort of something out of like their other designed SUVs. And then we have all the controls here at my fingertips. So it's very much like an Avalon / Camry, yet it's its own design, which is great. Meaning that Toyota has different interior designs for each model, and not just like copy-paste, copy-paste. So let me turn this on. Foot on the brake, start. V6 comes to life. Gauges do their thing. Okay. Now I actually don't have the window sticker on me. Maybe there it is. Okay. Let's go over this real quick. Total price $51,112. Options, well, it's a Platinum, so its only option really is the color. Special color, $318. Oh no, sorry, $425. You have to buy carpeted floor mats apparently, which is a very low move there, Toyota. Universal tablet holder, so that was that nice option. That's only $100. That's pretty good, although you need 2 of them. And then the cargo crossbars, $350. So there you go. 3.5 liter V8. Sorry, 3.5 liter V6, 8-speed auto, all-wheel drive, blah, 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 blah. Definitely safer than last generation. I don't know if it's any more fuel efficient, but that doesn't really matter with gas prices the way they are, to be honest. All that matters here is you're a Toyota buyer. Actually, you're not even a buyer. You're going to lease something. What are you going to get for your money? And I would say, well, if you're going to look at the Lexus RX, look at this first because it's better. However, if you're going to buy something, well, I'm trying to get my sandals on. If you're going to buy something, you could buy the Toyota Highlander, or you could buy a Durango RT, or you could buy an Acura MDX. Or even the Lexus RX. You have a lot of choices at that $50,000 range. $50,000 opens up a lot of options. But here in a loaded Highlander, we have a lot of options. So radar cruise and let's see, not blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist. We've got, where is it? There we go. I don't think the mirrors, do they fold in? The mirrors do not fold in. We have heads-up display, heated steering wheel, auto bright lights, and this whole system here. Now, the problem I have is the glare on it. The glare you see on the camera is the glare I'm seeing in real life. And it's because of this light color interior. All I'm seeing is the passenger seat right there, right? So as much as I do like the lighter interiors on larger vehicles, that is a problem. That glare. I'm sure you won't see too many tan interior Highlanders because of that. Then, the glare is so bad too, I can't even read these buttons, but that's apparently home, menu, audio, and map. And you'll notice the biggest problem here is there's no phone button. Although when I connect the phone, it's right here in this little square. There's really no way to pull my phone up. I mean, it's kind of like anti-phone here. You're supposed to go to menu, maybe, and then you can go to phone. So rather than just having a phone button, we have a menu button. So it's menu-driven, and as you know, it's not making much sense to me. So that's okay, though. We have heated and cooled seats. The reason why it's okay, though, is because this car isn't for me. We've got our different type of terrain modes. We've got downhill, descent, a snow button, which for some reason isn't here on this mud and sand button. But there's really one cool thing here, and it's not the drive mode, and it's not the electronic parking brake. It's the center armrest, because it slides open, and it's a plastic, leather, vinyl, I don't know what you would want to call it right now, but it just goes like this. It slides into itself, and then it reveals wireless charging for a wireless charged phone, which I do not own. Then it lifts up. And of course, this does take up some room, but down in there, there's a little tray, and that tray comes out, okay? And then we have more storage down in there, and these things, I believe, are just extra parts. Those are for the roof rack. It's pretty deep. I would say you could get a 6-pack of beer in there. Only for, not that you would. I don't condone drinking and driving. I'm just saying that the height of a 6-pack of beer, whatever. Anyway, it all fits in there. I don't know if you even have enough width for it, but I think it'll just fit. And it's not air conditioned. Glove box. Of course, we have all the manuals, Toyota style. And a nice JBL sound system. Nice, as in better than the Mark Levinson system that came in the Lexus RX. Basically, what I'm saying is I was not impressed with the Lexus, and somehow I am impressed with this, even though it's not that impressive, from a $50,000 standpoint. But, what we can do is we can drive it. So let me get my seatbelt on, which is always hard to do with one hand. There we go. Get this puppy in drive. And off we go. I do like the fact that you can get a V6. It is much better to have a V6 than a 4-cylinder in a minivan / people carrier. But it's not sporty like an Acura MDX. Somehow, though, it feels very refined. It feels very, I don't know, it's not a turbo, but it just feels right. This V6 puts out almost 295 horsepower, and, sorry, let me just do that. The body roll is very, very compressed, I would say. You get some roll, and then it sort of has a limit. And compressed is not the right word to use, but that's sort of the impression it gives. Let's go ahead and put it in sport mode. When you do that, the car starts back up. Stop start is optionally available to turn off right there. And you can see again the glare issues I'm having. If that's not your thing, then definitely skip this vehicle and go look at something else. Man, this is the bad time to review cars. Ouch, that's a lot of damage. What did you run into on that thing? Jeez. Alright, let's go for it. Very nice gear changes, very throaty V6. And I like that. And it rides flat. And it's something that the Lexus couldn't do. And I really bitched about that Lexus because it deserved to be bitched at. And in that sense, it's because Toyota was lazy. They're making a car for certain people, a specific demographic. And I think that's also the same problem we're encountering here is, we have a Highlander, but 1 in 7 Highlander buyers are going to go for the Platinum option. And what that tells me is, was this Highlander built just for a demographic? Were they market researching the crap out of it and then finding out who's going to doing the buying? Well, obviously we know who the buyer is. It's not a single guy. It's going to be a family, and it's not going to be the guy who's making the purchase decision. So why am I driving this vehicle? That's a good question. Last time I checked, I'm not a mommy blogger, but it seems like if a mommy blogger isn't driving this vehicle, then I'm going to have to do all the work. And so from my perspective, if I was to say, oh yeah, honey, go ahead, I would probably approve the purchase. I would probably say, yeah, it's a decent ride. I don't care for the glare. I couldn't live without glare. But beyond that, I mean, the performance, the sign recognition here, see, stop sign, stop. And the technology that it comes with is pretty much current day technology. It's not behind the times. Tight turning circle, great gear changes. Let's throw it through this corner if we don't get stuck behind that minivan. Oh, son of a... Alright, so here we are doing the school run together. Yep. Very, very nice steering because it tends to load up as I go into this corner. And we can definitely out-accelerate. Oh, too bad there's construction, guys. But I was going to say we can out-accelerate that oddity. There's nowhere to go, though. So, yep. Move over one lane. I mean, I would assume that most of the time the people driving these vehicles are manic drivers anyway. Just random lane changes and nonsensical braking. And, yeah, that makes total sense. But the Highlander has a driving dynamic that makes it feel not like a minivan and not like an SUV. I feel like I am in an Avalon. Not to say that that's an old fuddy-duddy vehicle, but I'm trying to tell you, I feel like I'm lower to the ground. I have a lot more grip. The steering is so responsive, and in a good way, not a sport car way. There's no understeer in that. And there's no nonsense. Oh, yeah. You know, compared to the Acura MDX, you know, the Highlander Platinum is actually very nice, and I would actually put it on the top of a shopping list if I needed one like this. But again, I don't really care for looking into all the stupid things like how the rear seats fold down, or how much legroom is back there for Junior. I really don't care. You just get in the car and we're going home, kind of thing. So from my perspective, this is just another car, but it's the newest version of just another car. All right, let's try this one again. Oh my God, we're just out of luck today on this. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. Let's go, Cletus. Anyway, sport mode is sport mode. We'll go back down to normal mode, and I'm not going to show you eco because that's pointless. But the normal mode basically changes the gear shift points, throttle mapping, the steering lightens up a little bit, and I do believe that on the Platinum we do have electronic dampers. But what I'm going to do is wrap this up by saying, yep, the Highlander Platinum, you can buy it. It's new car spin approved. And if you get the Lexus RX instead of this, you're a moron. All right. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, ask your dealer. Don't ask me. Ask the dealer. And you know what to do. Let's go for it. Here's why the eco mode doesn't matter, by the way. I don't know what part of the country you live in, but here in Texas, 87 octane unleaded, the cheap stuff, $1.24. Yeehaw!